Let's talk about autonomous driving and NIO along with Tesla, but for different reasons. See, I think that NIO is actually going to surprise a lot of people. And one of the reasons is the genius they have, who's the VP of autonomous driving. More on that in a minute. I'm initially going to release this as a channel member video, and then I'll release it later on YouTube. But last month, for those who missed it, I shared this video. I'm going to offer a brief clip from it. From this video, we've got that genius who is the VP of autonomous driving for NIO. And he's talking about the valet swap, NIO swapping at night while the owner sleeps as one of the things that NIO is working towards and more. But if you didn't watch it, this is the part, the little clip where they're using NLP Plus. At this point, they're essentially going to go and do the valet swap, which is where you just go park in the space, get out and go do whatever you want to do. The car goes ahead from there and just swaps itself. And so I don't know how, where they are with this as far as test mode or pilot, areas where this is going on, or if this is just going to be when it's available, it's going to be widespread throughout the whole country in China. I do know that the laws within China, one thing that's kind of interesting is that the ET9 is coming out with level 3 autonomy capabilities already built in, but my understanding is that's not legal in China. So they're actually ahead on that, but I don't know how many people realize that. And so again, this is going to be fun to watch and track. This is not all I'm going to share, but I want to pause there because I now want to pivot and I want to talk about Tesla because there's something that I noticed with Elon Musk. And so I want to put some dots out there and see what anyone else thinks about this, if anyone else caught this or is thinking about it or what their thoughts are. We're going to go back 3 earnings calls. And so we're going back to the Q2 2024 earnings call. What caught my attention? I normally try to tune in for about the first 10 minutes, which is usually when Elon chooses to pump something. He's pumping whatever it is he's chosen to pump in that particular earnings call. And this one, I noticed that he changed his verbiage when he was talking in this. Now, this was, I believe, in July is when they had this earnings call. Hang on, I can look real quick. Yes, July 24th, 2024. But what caught my attention was his verbiage, and specifically this, even unsupervised full self-driving. And so that's, and he says it again here, unsupervised full self-driving. This is not typically the way he speaks about it. And in fact, when we go to the very next earnings call, which is the date that they had, that was October 23rd. But notice here, he's talking about, with respect to autonomy, as people are experiencing, improvements essentially. Then he goes on to say the release of full self-driving and Cybertruck. And so this is maybe you say it's not a big deal. I think it is a big deal. I think he intentionally uses or doesn't use certain words sometimes within part of his pitch or his hyping. And so the fact that this has changed, this verbiage has changed, and there is an alignment with respect to his political career taking off. And so I thought that was kind of fascinating to kind of factor in. But I don't want to stop there because this is the most recent earnings call that we've had. And this is as far as, and I haven't listened to all of the earnings calls over the last years, but this is the one where I think he was pumping the most, the hardest. And this is one of the things that he said, the best vehicle of any kind on earth, number 1, the Model Y. And then he talks about their 10xing on autonomy. And so talking about the Cybertruck and the most, recent updates and how great they are. And so here we are. Now, this post is from a Chinese car reviewer in early January 2025. And as he's trying to park the Cybertruck, the, autonomous parking function, it hits something. And so that's apparently not quite worked out with the bugs. But Elon's been promising, for a long time that they would be doing things that they still haven't done. And this is just a different view. And I do think it's interesting that so many people are such big believers in spite of the fact that they continue to not actually come out with and deliver on what he has promised for so long. I think it's really fascinating, but I think he gets a big pass because of the stock price for Tesla. And so I think that aligns with some of the pumping that he does. And hey, it's hard to be mad if you're up in the stock price and you're feeling great about things, then I get that. But it's a fascinating time. Now, I also want to share this because this video, the reason I want to share this is an Onvo, the newly released L60. And so with this, and it's a nod to really this man right here, Ren Xiaoqing. He is the genius AD or vice president AD working for NIO. And this guy is a beast. I mean, here's what I mean. And I'll link all of this so you can check it all out for yourselves. But this is some of the work that he's done over the years. And one of the things that he did is he was a co-founder in Momenta autonomous driving. They ended up partnering. And in fact, I'm going back in time now to this is a 2017 Baidu Apollo and Momenta. And so then we've got this as sort of the update to as of, get a date here for you, a year ago, I believe this is in, wait, there it is, 2023. So it's actually longer than that time frame ago, but you've got the Baidu Apollo, and you can see there is no driver in there. They have gotten approval to, within certain areas in China, they have these driverless robotaxis, and that came as a result of, in part, the efforts from and the brain, the genius of Ren Xiaoqing. So, you know, I wanted to point that out and make people aware of it in case they are not. It was very cool to get a glimpse of him in this video and have him actually speak, because I haven't gotten a chance to hear him say much. And so the fact that he's talking about the cars being able to go and swap themselves at night in the future, that's clearly something they're working on. And I think they will surprise, I'm talking about NIO, with the sub brands and their ability to navigate and handle the autonomous systems as well. But I don't know when we'll see it. I don't know. And shout out to Marcel, who has talked about this as well. I think he's wondering and waiting for sort of a surprise moment with respect to this as well. I absolutely think we're going to see it. And an important fact, you know, or factor, but it is a fact that I've talked about repeatedly that I don't think people realize, or it's just not exciting. The regulation, that side of things matters. And so, for example, in the most recent earnings call, you've got Elon saying that he's confident that in June, Austin is going to allow them to do some things, you know, autonomously. It's sort of like the robotaxi that they're already doing and have been doing in China for a while. And so, you know, but again, the regulation is part of what allows that or keeps that from pushing ahead. And I don't know if maybe the political alliance is going to help pave the way, if that's one of the maybe leverage plays that Elon wants to utilize. And while the regulation side is not very interesting, I also think, you know, we can't ignore the safety aspect. And going back to many years ago, I remember kind of researching and seeing when Tesla at one point was working with Mobileye, and when they parted ways, the sense that I got from that was that the CEO from Mobileye, I almost said Momenta, the CEO from Mobileye, who is very focused on safety, was not happy with the way things were being hyped and presented, and maybe even misrepresented. And so I think that's kind of why they parted ways, was the safety. And so I hope that things aren't pushed ahead or done recklessly in a way that jeopardizes lives or safety. But we'll see what happens. I'm really curious about this. And I know there are a lot of people with strong opinions in different areas, especially a lot for Tesla, some against Tesla with where they are and their autonomous driving capabilities or potential. I absolutely think, if I'm going to pick one thing that I think will come about, I think it's NIO surprising with their autonomous driving capabilities. And I do think the key is Ren Xiaoqing, the VP of their autonomous driving. So that was a great hire by NIO. And of course, NIO Capital, which managing partner is, one of the managing partners is William Li. So he had been aware of, they were investing in, NIO Capital was investing in Momenta years ago. So that's where, you know, again, he was able to sort of tap this talent, bring him in house. And so let's see how this shakes out. And if we don't get some surprises, maybe even here in 2025 from NIO or from the sub brands, maybe Firefly will come out and have a much better package. You know, the vision is one of the things that Ren has written on. And so anyway, I'm talking too much now. So let me cut myself off and get this thing up and out. Have a great day, a great night, a great weekend, whenever you see this. And I'll see y'all again very soon.